Your neighbors are not normal. What they are planning to do with your God says this to you in a voice that reaches through every layer of your spirit. Deeper than a whisper, stronger than a storm, soft but undeniable, as if heaven itself bends toward you in this moment. Because what you are about to hear cannot wait another second. God says, listen, chosen one, because what is happening around you is not ordinary. The people around you are not behaving normally, and the things they have discussed behind closed doors carry an energy that was never meant to touch your life. God says, I am revealing this to you because you have been walking with a pure heart while others around you have been pretending with a false face. You have noticed the strange way they look at your home. The way they pay attention to things that are not their concern. The way their eyes linger on your walls, your door, your gate, as if they are trying to memorize something. God says this is not your imagination. Those small moments when you felt watched. Those tiny instincts that tightened your stomach. Those random thoughts of something is not right. Those were signs from heaven. Gentle warnings placed inside your soul. God says, I am now making everything clear because the time of confusion is over. Archangel Michael stands behind you right now with his presence strong, protective, and brighter than any human energy around you. Michael says, you need to listen carefully because this message cannot wait. This is important and heaven has stepped in for a reason. He says, your neighbors are behaving in ways that are not normal, and you are going to understand exactly why. He says, there is something about your house that they have been discussing, not just casual talk, not innocent curiosity. No, something deeper, something planned, something they should have never attempted, something that God Himself has decided to expose. Now, God says they made duplicate papers of your house. Yes, chosen one. They tried to create something false, something that pretends to look real. They tried to hold a copy of something that belongs to you. A place heaven has blessed. A place angels stand around. A place where God's presence has walked with you through every season. They try to copy what cannot be taken from you spiritually, but they believe they can take it physically. They believe that if they act quietly enough, if they hide their intentions well enough, if they smile and pretend long enough, then you will never notice. But God says your spirit noticed, heaven noticed, Michael noticed. Every lie they tried to stitch together in darkness has been brought into the light. God says you are protected, but you must listen to this because the truth has to reach your awareness before the divine action unfolds completely for months, maybe longer. You have sensed something strange about them. The way they whisper when you walk by. The sudden silences. The eyes that avoid contact yet always peek from windows. The odd questions about your house. Questions that didn't make sense at the time but now reveal their true purpose. God says they were gathering information. They were planning. They were trying to use worldly methods to meddle with something heaven has already placed in your destiny. God says they thought you were alone. They thought you were unprotected. They thought you were unaware. But heaven watched every moment. Every paper they tried to duplicate. Every conversation they thought no one could hear. Every time they whispered your name. Every time they thought, we can do this, without being caught. God says they underestimated the power that walks with you. Archangel Michael says, your name is written in heaven's book of protection, and no earthly trick can erase what God has secured. Michael says, the reason this message is coming to you today is because something they planned recently crossed a boundary. Something they did in the last few days has pushed the situation into a moment where God has said enough. You may not know the details physically yet, but spiritually something has already shifted. God says this is why you felt uneasy without knowing why. This is why you felt restless on nights when everything seemed normal. Your spirit was detecting the disturbance before your mind understood it. Your intuition was receiving God's warnings before your eyes saw anything. God says your house is not just a building. It carries memories, blessings, prayers, moments of struggle, victories, tears, and laughter. Heaven has marked it as a sacred space. Your home is a testimony of everything you survived. That is why the enemy used people close to your physical environment to attempt something against it. But God says, what they made I will destroy. What they planned I will expose. What they thought would work, I will turn into dust. God says you will watch everything unfold in your favor. You will see how heaven exposes every wrong intention. You will see how their plan crumbles without you having to lift a single finger. Archangel Michael says they have made copies, duplicate papers, thinking it would give them authority. But heaven says authority does not come from forged ink or false signatures. Authority comes from God. And God says the land, the house, the blessing, the safety, the ownership, every piece of it has been sealed under divine protection. No one can take it from you. God says the reason they targeted your house is because they cannot stand the blessings inside it. They cannot understand how you survive through storms that would break others. They cannot understand why you continue moving forward with grace even when life throws challenges at you. They cannot understand why you are chosen. So they thought if we cannot shake the person, let us shake the place they live. But God says they touched the wrong thing. They touched something heaven guards. They touched something angels stand around. They touched something God's hand has been upon for years. This is why Michael has stepped forward with urgency. He says you are not alone, you are not unsafe. You are not vulnerable. Heaven is surrounding your home. Every attempt they try will fall before it reaches your door. God says you will soon witness unusual signs that show His intervention. Things will suddenly shift in your favor. People who were part of their circle will begin turning against them. Secrets will leak. Papers they tried to create will be flagged, caught, rejected, dismissed, exposed. Their own actions will trap them. Their own plans will confuse them. Their own intentions will crumble, and you will stand untouched, unharmed, unshaken, protected by the divine. God says this is not a warning of fear. This is a revelation of protection. This is not to worry you. This is to prepare you. This is not to make you panic. This is to make you aware that heaven is fighting for you. You have been strong for so long. Walking with faith even when you felt alone. That faith has built walls around your home that no earthly scheme can break. God says your prayers have been the shield. Your tears have been the ink that wrote, your protection. Your sincerity has been the key. Michael says, your neighbors did not realize the consequences of their intentions. They were playing with something they should have never touched. They were trying to rewrite something that God already wrote. They were trying to steal something that heaven sealed. They were trying to copy something that can never be duplicated spiritually. God says they may hold papers, but heaven holds the truth. They may hold copies, but God holds the original. They may think they have created something, but heaven has already erased it. God says, chosen one. The next weeks will reveal everything. The truth will come in ways you did not expect. People will start acting differently around you. Someone will accidentally say something. Someone will reveal information unintentionally. Someone will expose their own group. Someone will show you something that connects all the missing pieces. God says everything will come to you without you searching for it. The truth will walk to your doorstep, you will not chase it. It will chase you. Archangel Michael says you have to remain calm, remain centered, remain in prayer, remain in trust. Heaven is already handling the situation. You are already protected. They will try nothing more because heaven has blocked their path. God says, I am with you and nothing will go wrong with you. You only have to trust me. And now heaven continues pouring this message for you in a long flowing stream of divine awareness, comforting your heart, calming your soul, reminding you that you are not alone. God says you are watched over every moment, protected in every breath, surrounded by angels in every direction. Your home is covered under divine light. Every wall is touched by heaven's protection. Every corner filled with peace. Every doorway guarded. Every room blessed. Nothing negative can enter. Nothing false can stand. Nothing planned against you will succeed. God says they do not know the level of protection around you. They do not know the spiritual forces that walk with you. They do not know the weight of heaven that surrounds your life. They thought you were vulnerable. They thought you were someone who could be taken advantage of. They thought you were someone who would never notice. But they were wrong. God says, chosen one, you are rising above every hidden trap. Heaven is breaking every false plan. Heaven is dissolving every fake document. Heaven is turning every negative intention back to dust. Heaven says your house is safe. Your destiny is safe, your life is safe. You are surrounded by divine protection, divine guidance, divine clarity, divine favor and divine justice. God says you will be okay. You are safe. You are protected. You are not alone. You are loved. You are watched over. You are chosen. And everything that was hidden is now being exposed for your sake. God says this message is reaching you at the exact moment when your soul needed to hear it the most. And Archangel Michael says he has been trying to whisper this truth into your heart for weeks. But something around you kept distracting you, pulling your attention away, making you doubt your own intuition. You felt it many times, that strange heaviness, that sudden feeling that something was not right, that someone around you was not what they appeared to be. You brushed it away, thinking maybe you were imagining things, thinking maybe it was just stress or a random thought passing through your mind. But God says, no, that was not your imagination. That was your spirit trying to warn you, that was Archangel Michael pushing you to pay attention. That was your inner knowing trying to get your attention so you could wake up to what was happening around you. God says there has been a spiritual disturbance around your life. And the reason you have been feeling unusual energies is because not everyone around you carries clean intentions. Some souls around you are not aligned with the light. And even though they smile, even though they act normal, even though they behave like everything is fine, something in your spirit sensed the truth. God says you sense this because your soul is deeply gifted. You are spiritually chosen. You are divinely protected, but your awareness is sharper than you realize. When something is off, you feel it long before it becomes visible. Archangel Michael says he has been standing by your door, guarding your path, protecting your home, shielding your destiny. But he says there is something you need to understand. The neighbors in this divine message are not literal people, living next to you. God says they represent the people who pretend to be close to you spiritually, emotionally, or socially, but internally they carry jealousy, insecurity, competition, or hidden intentions. These are the ones who smile at you while wishing they had your blessings. These are the ones who speak kindly but secretly question why God favors you. These are the ones who act normal but spiritually they have been trying to create confusion on your path because your destiny intimidates them. God says, your destiny is powerful and your spiritual house, the symbolic home representing your life, identity, purpose, and blessings, carries a divine blueprint that cannot be copied by anyone. Yet spiritually there are forces that try to create a duplicate. This duplicate is not a physical house paper. It is symbolic. It represents people trying to imitate your journey, take credit for your work, steal your divinely assigned opportunities, or confuse your identity in the eyes of others. These are the people who act as if your blessings belong to them. They act as if your spiritual inheritance should have been theirs. They act as if the life God designed for you should be redirected toward them. But God says, no one can take what I wrote in your name. No one can steal what I assigned to your soul. No one can rewrite a destiny I sealed with my own hands. Archangel Michael says the reason he asked you not to ignore this message is because the spiritual attempt to duplicate your destiny has reached its breaking point. What was hidden is being exposed. The illusions people created around you are falling apart. Their intentions are being revealed one by one. There were individuals who wanted to confuse your path, who wanted to drain your energy, who wanted to block your progress, but their plans are collapsing now because God is stepping in with full force. God says these symbolic neighbors tried to make you doubt your worth. They tried to make you feel like you were not chosen. They tried to convince you that your blessings were coincidences or that your breakthrough was not meant for you. They tried to spiritually forge documents, meaning they tried to claim authority over what belongs to you. They tried to rewrite your story in places where they had no permission. They tried to create a false narrative about your life so they could benefit from it. But God says they failed. They failed because the spiritual signature on your destiny belongs only to you. Every blessing attached to your name is protected by divine law. Every opportunity meant for you is coded with your soul's frequency. No one can replace you, replicate you, or impersonate your spiritual identity. What they tried to copy cannot function without the original. What they tried to claim cannot exist without your energy. What they attempted to steal collapses the moment you stand in your truth. God says He is proud of you for enduring the strange heaviness in recent days. He knows the confusion you felt. He knows the emotional ups and downs you experienced. He knows you tried to stay strong even when you didn't fully understand why you felt so drained, so sensitive, so spiritually alert. The reason is because these symbolic neighbors, these people who pretended to be harmless, were projecting negativity, jealousy, or spiritual interference toward you. They wanted you to lose focus. They wanted you to give up. They wanted you to stop believing in yourself. But Archangel Michael says, you didn't break. You held yourself together even when you didn't feel like it. You continued walking even when it felt heavy. You continued believing even when doubt tried to sit in your chest. You kept going, and because of that, God is shifting everything in your favor. God says He is removing the spiritual interference. He is removing the people who were pretending to support you while secretly working against you. He is removing the ones who tried to copy you, compete with you, or confuse others about who you truly are. They cannot hide anymore. Their intentions are being exposed in ways they never expected. This exposure is not meant to hurt you. It is meant to liberate you. God says the symbolic house they tried to copy represents your identity, your spiritual brilliance, your purpose, your path, your inner light. People saw your light even before you recognized it. They knew your soul was rare. They knew you carried divine favor. They knew you were chosen. Instead of celebrating you, some tried to overshadow you. Instead of supporting you, some tried to take your place, instead of appreciating you. Some tried to use your energy for their benefit, but God says enough. He is restoring everything that was interfered with. He is renewing your energy. He is cleansing your path. He is strengthening your intuition so you can see the truth with clarity instead of confusion. Archangel Michael says he has drawn a boundary around your spiritual house. Nothing negative can enter. No false friend can cross. No harmful intention can pass. He has placed a shield so powerful that every attempt to manipulate your destiny will collapse instantly. God says your blessings are coming faster now because the interference is gone. Your mind will feel lighter. Your heart will feel calm. Your spirit will feel safe again. Everything that was delayed will begin to move forward. Everything that felt stuck will open again. Everything that felt heavy will lift from your life slowly and steadily. God says the next chapter of your life is protected. You will rise above every comparison. You will rise above every hidden jealousy. You will rise above every unspoken conflict. You will rise above every false energy. You will rise above every attempt to copy you or take what belongs to you. God says you are the original. You are the chosen. You are divinely assigned. Your destiny was written long before they ever tried to duplicate it. Archangel Michael says he is standing behind you with his sword of truth, cutting every false intention attached to your path. You will start noticing sudden clarity, sudden peace, sudden breakthroughs, sudden opportunities, sudden signs that God is moving everything in your favor. The confusion you felt was temporary. The heaviness you carried was a sign. But now comes release. Now comes light. Now comes divine protection in ways you have never experienced before. God says the energy around you will shift drastically in the coming days. You will feel lighter, more confident, more grounded. You will feel the presence of divine support more deeply than ever. You will feel spiritually strengthened, emotionally safe, mentally clear, and energetically protected. God says nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing can block your destiny. Nothing can take what belongs to you. Nothing can replace you. Nothing can duplicate your purpose. You are safe. You are guided. You are protected. God is with you. Archangel Michael is with you. Your path is sealed under divine authority. Your destiny is unstoppable. If you want, I can continue this message and expand it to even more words. Deeper, longer, and, in the exact emotional tone you love. God says that the wind around you has been trembling because something has been shifting in the unseen realms and you have felt it in your heart without fully understanding why. You have been noticing small signs. Strange movements, moments where you felt watched by energies that did not match the softness of God's protection. And even though nothing harmful can touch you, Heaven says you deserve to know what is happening spiritually around the place where you live. Archangel Michael says he has been standing outside your home day and night because the energy around your house has become louder, heavier, and more restless. He says this message is important for you because you have been ignoring the spiritual signs that have been placed in your path, and now Heaven wants to speak clearly. So you no longer feel confused or alone. You think your neighbors are just ordinary people living ordinary lives. But God says spiritually they are not normal. Not in the sense of danger, not in the sense of harm, but in the sense of the energy they carry. The jealousy that hides in their hearts. The silent envy that moves like an invisible shadow each time they see you rise. Each time they witness your light. They are not bad people, but they are spiritually restless, spiritually empty, and spiritually drawn to what you have. God says they have been watching you not with love, but with a strange curiosity that has grown into obsession. Not because you harmed them, not because you did anything wrong, but because your blessings remind them of everything they do not have. Your peace irritates their demons. Your growth shakes their spiritual foundation. Your presence activates the pieces of themselves they have been trying to forget. Archangel Michael says that people like this often project their insecurities outward and try to imitate the ones they envy. Instead of appreciating your light, they want to steal it, copy it, duplicate it. And God says something shocking. They have been spiritually trying to make a duplicate of your destiny, a spiritual copy of your identity, a false version of your blessings, not literal house papers, not literal documents. But in the spirit realm, they have tried to create a duplicate version of your spiritual home, your stability, your success, your divine path. And they have been trying to claim it as their own. God says your house is not a building made of cement and bricks. Your house is your soul. Your house is your calling. Your house is your spiritual identity. Your house is your purpose, your foundation, your divine inheritance. And what they attempted to duplicate were not physical papers. It was the blueprint of your life, the spiritual design that God Himself wrote for you. They wanted to imitate your path, copy your energy, mirror your blessings, hoping that if they pretended long enough, Heaven would mistakenly hand your destiny to them. But God says destiny cannot be stolen. A blessing cannot be transferred. You are the original. You are the chosen one. No one can hold what belongs to you, even if they try to forge spiritual papers, even if they try to claim your path, heaven rejects imitation. Archangel Michael says he has been watching this imitation energy forming around your home like a weak shadow, or reflection trying to look like you, but failing every time. He says they tried to duplicate your spiritual house because they felt unworthy of building their own. But Michael says every time they attempted to recreate your energy, your blessing, your identity, he tore their imitation apart and threw it into the fire. He says nothing meant for you can be taken and nothing created in your image can survive. God is the author of your life story and no copy can ever rewrite his pen. God says you must not fear this. You must not panic. You must not think something bad will happen. You are safe. You are protected. Your house, your real house is surrounded by the flames of heaven. And anyone who tries to spiritually intrude is pushed back instantly. But God says you deserve to know the truth because you have been spiritually uneasy. You have been waking up tired, sensing something tugging at your energy. You have been feeling watched not by physical eyes but by spiritual envy. These neighbors have not spoken a word, but their souls have been whispering in your direction, questioning why your life is shining while theirs feels dim. Why your path is opening while theirs remains blocked. God says this is not your fault. Their jealousy is not your responsibility. You never harmed them, never insulted them, never did anything to them. Your light simply triggers their darkness. Your blessings highlight their lack of gratitude. Your purpose reminds them of everything they refuse to pursue. You being chosen irritates their spiritual wounds. But God says he is stepping in today because he does not want you walking through life feeling spiritually drained by energies that do not belong to you. Michael says he has been fighting a quiet spiritual battle around your home for weeks. You did not see it, but you felt it. You felt waves of heaviness. You felt sudden coldness. You felt moments of anxiety without knowing where they came from. These were not attacks. They were echoes of the energy directed toward you. But Michael says he blocked everything before it touched you. He says not a single attempt to steal your spiritual identity came close to succeeding. You have continued rising because your destiny is shielded. God says one more thing. You must stop downplaying your spiritual strength. You think you are weak, but the spiritual realm knows your power. You think you are ordinary, but heaven has marked you as extraordinary. You think people overlook you, but the spirit world watches you closely because your soul carries a rare frequency. This is why people imitate you, envy you, study you. You are a blueprint of God's favor. And some people want the blessing without wanting the discipline, the grace without the purification, the calling without the sacrifice. God says he has seen you cry privately while showing strength publicly. He knows your struggles, the burdens you carried silently, the pain you ignored because you were too focused on surviving. He knows the nights when you felt like giving up. When you felt misunderstood, when you felt like you were walking alone. He says, you have no idea how many angels were assigned to you during those nights. You thought you were breaking, but heaven saw you transforming. You thought you were being abandoned, but heaven was rearranging your path. You thought you were losing, but God was removing what was blocking your blessing. Michael says he has protected not only your house but your name. Because the spiritual duplicate papers they attempted were not only about your path, they were about your identity. These neighbors tried to spiritually imitate your essence, copy your behavior, mimic your style, pretend to carry your energy. They thought if they mirrored you long enough, they could draw your blessings into their own lives. But spiritual laws do not work like that. You cannot steal a light you did not earn. You cannot claim an identity that is not yours. You cannot rewrite the destiny of a chosen one. God says He allowed you to be unaware of this spiritual imitation for a time because He wanted you to grow without distractions. But now He wants you to see that your presence affects people more than you think. You awaken their jealousy, their admiration, their fears, their fantasies, their insecurities. You trigger emotional responses simply by existing. And God says this is why He keeps you separated, why He protects you, why He limits who has access to you. Not everyone deserves to stand close to your light. Not everyone can be trusted with your energy. Not everyone can handle the weight of being connected to someone chosen. Michael says, your house is spiritually glowing. It shines at night like a beacon. It radiates protection, warmth, and divine favor. This glow attracts both angels and envious souls. Some admire it, others resent it. Some feel blessed by being near you. Others feel irritated by their own lack when they see you. But heaven says that no matter how they feel, they cannot touch you. They cannot enter your spiritual territory. They cannot cross the boundary God has placed around you. God says He has now officially destroyed every spiritual duplicate of your house, every false blueprint, every imitation destiny, every forged spiritual document, everything they tried to create in your image is gone. You are free from their projection. You are free from their envy. You are free from their spiritual interference. Your path is clear again. Your energy is rising again. Your blessing is accelerating again. You will feel lighter in the next days. You will sleep deeper. You will wake up with more clarity. The heaviness you felt will dissolve completely because God has removed the source. Michael says your next season will expose why they envied you so much. You are stepping into blessings that they sensed before you did. You are entering rooms they could never enter. You are receiving miracles they never prepared for. Your name is being lifted in places they cannot go. Your destiny is unfolding in ways that shock even the angels assigned to you. And God says your story is about to shift so dramatically that everyone who doubted you will fall silent. God says your house, your real house, your soul house, your destiny house is protected with a divine seal. Only heaven holds the key. And no imitation, no jealousy, no spiritual copycat, no envious soul can break what God has locked. Everything that belongs to you will come to you. Every blessing with your name on it will locate you. Every miracle heaven wrote for you is returning with interest. You are safe. You are protected. You are chosen. You are rising. And nothing, absolutely nothing can take your spiritual home away from you.